And good evening once again. Day 70 of the Biden administration. There is explosive new reporting tonight about Republican Florida Congressman Matt Gaetz, who's represented his district since 2017, made a name for himself as one of the Trumpiest members of the House of Representatives. New York Times reporting the Justice Department is investigating Gaetz over, quote, whether he had a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old and paid for her to travel with him. The investigation was opened in the final months of the Trump administration under Attorney General William Barr. Katie Benner, one of the Times reporters who broke this story, standing by to join us in just a few minutes. No charges have been brought against the congressman. Tonight, he up and down denied the allegations during an interview with Tucker Carlson.
It is a horrible allegation, and it is a lie. The New York Times is running a story that I have traveled with a 17-year-old woman, and that is verifiably false. People can look at my travel records and see that that is not the case. What is happening is an extortion of me and my family involving a former Department of Justice official. This former Department of Justice official tomorrow was supposed to be contacted by my father so that specific instructions could be given regarding the wiring of $4.5 million as a down payment on this bribe. I don't think it's a coincidence that tonight, somehow, the New York Times is leaking this information, smearing me, and ruining the investigation.
More twists and turns tonight in this breaking story concerning the federal inquiry, is what they're calling it, involving Florida Republican Congressman Matt Gaetz over possible sexual misconduct with a 17-year-old. Here with us for more is Katie Benner, Justice Department reporter for the New York Times, who, along with Michael Schmidt, broke the initial story in the Times. Katie, I have to ask you to fold in the congressman's straight-up denial tonight, his insistence that this was part of an extortion against him and his family, his father's wearing of a wire, surreptitious recordings, he says, for the FBI. How does this fit in your initial reporting?
Sure. Well, initially, we did not report anything about his father working with the FBI and wearing a wire in order to stop an extortion scheme. It was actually Matt Gaetz who publicly disclosed that. So to the extent that that investigation has been scuttled, it is more likely that it's because Matt Gaetz first publicly disclosed that investigation. Now, in terms of our reporting, we look at an investigation into Matt Gaetz that began in August, in late summer of 2020, when Donald Trump was the president and William P. Barr was the attorney general. We know that Barr and other top officials had to sign off on the investigation and okay it because Barr himself last year in the winter said that all such investigations needed to be run by top Justice Department officials. So this was something that the Justice Department under Donald Trump thought was serious enough to pursue, and it involves allegations, including the allegation that Congressman Gaetz had a relationship with a girl who was only 17 and took her across state lines.
Katie, the Gaetz allegation of extortion is against one David McGee, a former federal prosecutor, and make no mistake, a formidable member of the bar. He has put out a statement tonight reading in part, any reports of extortion involving him or his firm are completely, totally false. Quote, this is a blatant attempt to distract from the fact that Matt Gaetz is apparently about to be indicted for sex trafficking underage girls. What's your knowledge of Mr. McGee?
So what we know about Mr. McGee is he did work at the Justice Department, but he worked there more than 2 decades ago. He was the first assistant in the office of the Northern District of Florida, which is the district in which Matt Gaetz is a congressman. But again, this was decades ago. It seemed like Matt Gaetz was trying to say that this is somebody who's currently involved in the Justice Department or would be involved with the case somehow. He is not currently involved in the Justice Department. He is in private practice and has not been involved with DOJ for some time.
And I don't want to take you into the area of analysis, but hours before this report broke, Matt Gaetz generated talk earlier today, especially on social media, when he was musing about leaving Congress and taking a job at Newsmax. How does any of your reporting speak to the status of that?
All I can say is that reporters have been interested in what was going on with Congressman Gaetz for a while, and to see those musings happen both in the press and then on Twitter that he would leave his seat, given the fact that he is a close ally of Donald Trump, that Trump could run again in 2024, that he seems well situated, that he's popular in his district, it did seem odd. And I would say it's fair to say that's a kind of disclosure that really encouraged reporters to continue to dig.
Hey, thanks for watching our YouTube channel. You should know that you can follow today's top stories and breaking news and catch up on your favorite MSNBC shows all in one place. Download the NBC News app today.